All right, we're live and we're rolling. Welcome to Inside the Venture. So a little new segment that we're doing. We want to give you guys a behind the scenes, a more in depth look of actually like who we are and what we're actually trying to do from a business standpoint. So on one side, you're going to see the podcast where we're talking to all these great guests and we're learning a lot and it's a great experience. But we also want you guys to see what we're actually trying to do, in our own entrepreneurial journey. So I think the first thing that we should do is just reintroduce ourselves. So Luke, why don't you just start us off?
Yeah, for sure. So yes, hello everybody. It's going to be fun to have this second kind of way to engage, and have a little fun talking. But yeah, so I am a recent graduate of Duke University, where I was electrical and computer engineer. It was Duke's a fun school, but unfortunately with the pandemic, it was a not so fun ending for me. But kind of a lot of the stuff that I've been working on in the past and kind of going forward is in kind of deep technology. So artificial intelligence, blockchain, and more recently, just a lot of kind of more administrative managerial work as it relates to kind of getting some of that stuff done. But working on a few ventures at the moment. And one of them is with Peyton. But Peyton, you want to introduce yourself first so we can, close that loop?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Peyton Truitt, I graduated from Purdue University. I graduated in 2019, so literally just right before all the pandemic stuff. So I had the full college experience. I live in Austin, Texas now. I work for a major tech company down here as a solution engineer. So that's what I do on my my 9 to 5, and then after hours. What we're about to break down is one way that we spend a little bit of our time. So I think the first thing that we should talk about is like what our main venture is, and it's actually called T2 Venture, because Luke and I both have the same last name of Truitt, ergo two T's, T2 Venture. So Luke, talk about some of the different areas that T2V covers.
Yeah. So again, Peyton was a supply chain undergrad. He's very excited kind of about like the opportunities in distribution, logistics, and all that stuff. And when I was younger, one of the first kind of like, I guess, entrepreneurial pursuits that I had was selling electronics. So I would buy up quite a few chargers, battery packs, all kinds of like weird one-off consumer electronics, and just resell them through Facebook, through eBay, wherever kind of people were willing to buy them. My own site. And some of the connections that I developed there kind of turned into a good relationship as it related to masks when the pandemic started. So we kind of learned a lot about what was going on in that world. Everybody did, right? It was on the news every day. And one of my suppliers hit me up and said, "Hey, look, I can't send chargers anymore, but we're selling masks." And so I called Peyton. I said, "Hey, man, I know you're kind of into some of this stuff. Like, what do you think about kind of trying to set up a mask distribution thing while the pandemic's going on?" And we wanted to make sure that we weren't doing anything unethical or anything like that. And so we just made sure that things were straight, and we started buying masks and reselling them to dentists, clinics, places like that. And it did, it went fine. It didn't go amazing. Peyton has a few good lessons that we learned from that, but that was the start.
Yeah, I mean, we we definitely took away a couple hard lessons, and I think the first one is like we kind of, or at least I did. I saw the dollar signs pop up in my eyes, kind of thing, because we were going to start selling such an important item. Ethically speaking, these items needed to be brought to America because there was a shortage of these masks and other PPE, alcohol wipes, hand sanitizer, things of that nature. And so, we were all excited. We're like, hey, we're going to sell all of these masks. It's going to be great. Like the demand's so high. And the thing we kind of found out right off the bat is, one, international shipping is really hard. We definitely had some struggles with customs, bringing things in. We learned a lot about language barriers, right? So the connection that Luke had, it posed a challenge with communication, also time zones, right? We weren't on the same schedule, so we needed information fast. That was daytime here in America, but it was nighttime over there. We weren't able to reach them. So we kind of had to work through some of those struggles. And then, it's expensive to fly things over, but it takes forever to ship them by sea. And so we, got a really hard lesson in timing. And then lastly, I think the most important thing is just because there's a demand for it doesn't mean that your specific product is going to fly off the shelf.
Yeah.
And I think we learned that the hard way because, I mean, to be completely honest, I mean, we still have a little bit of inventory and COVID's been going on for, a year now. So
yeah, it was an interesting thing in timing up, when to bring in new orders with like trying to actually find people who want them. And, the other thing is, as we heard in one of our recent episodes, the thing about all this is just connections, right? You need to know people. And so when we talk to, a nursing home and we'd say, hey, look, like, do you have a need for these masks? Whether or not they had the need for the masks, we're not the person who's going to give it to them, like somebody who they know. And so it was a very grueling process to even, kind of move the masks that we were able to. But we met some awesome people along the way. As Peyton mentioned, we learned some new things, but now we're kind of on to the next piece. So we are still kind of in that distribution game. We're looking at a few other things that we can kind of, continue to sell online. And so that's one part of this. But the main one that we're focusing on now is in prop tech, so property technology, namely real estate, kind of just ways of analyzing and then kind of executing on ideas as regards to purchasing real estate. And so we've been working on a little sort of process for selecting homes that's been going on now for a couple months. With the end goal of kind of providing a better way for both ourselves as well as other folks who are interested in real estate, mainly real estate agents, to have a better look at the homes that are available to them to buy.
Yeah, and this also just kind of started out of an interest. I called up Luke one day and I'm like, "Hey man, like do you know what a REIT is? Like a real estate investment trust." And we kind of went back and forth and we're like, yeah, let's start one. And then we kind of realized that we can't really start one. It takes a lot of money and a lot of work up front. So then we kind of, continued to shift through. We're like, hey, let's do a real estate syndicate where we actually flip houses. And then we kind of went through the entire process, talked to real estate agents, talked to builders, developers, and we realized that that's extremely difficult too. So then we kind of, put our heads together and we're like, okay, what can we do? And with our technical backgrounds, we came up with working on the process that we're still doing today. And then that kind of also led into a little bit of a foray into actually becoming a real estate agent. So that's something that we're working on the side down here in Texas, and hopefully if Luke ever moves down here to Austin, he can join me on that quest. But it's really cool that when you take that first step and you just try it. Like we could have easily been discouraged, right, after the mask thing. Just the fact that we just didn't become millionaires overnight because COVID was going on and we had the one product that people needed. But we called each other back up. Obviously, we're cousins, so we have a great relationship, and we're willing to try. We have a really supportive family, which definitely goes a long way. And we just jumped back into it, and it actually kind of led us into another opportunity, which is the way you guys are seeing us right now. We realized that in order to support, some of the real estate stuff that we were doing to build credibility just in the business world as a whole, producing content is something that's really important. And so, we kind of went back and forth on different ways to do this. And ultimately we settled on the podcast, which is, the way you guys are seeing us right now.
Yeah, no, it's been really fun. I'm terrible with social media and understanding kind of how to engage people in that way. I love talking to people. I love kind of being in a setting where I'm, talking about things that I care about, but doing it digitally was not something that I was used to. And so it's been a lot of fun trying to figure that out. Peyton's been working really hard on the kind of the production side of this as well. And he's gotten potentially a couple more, folks who are interested in starting their own podcasts and that sort of thing. And so that's another part of this as well, is that, we can help other people kind of take advantage of the same, things that we've been able to work on.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like the skills that, we're developing out of necessity in order to produce our own thing. We're kind of realizing that they can be used to help other people. So almost starting a media company, if you will. We'll call it T2V Media. We've been throwing out that hashtag on some of our posts just to kind of get it started up. But basically, we wanted to create a place that would allow us to use these skills that we're learning, not know. I think that that's very important. Right here on my keyboard, if I can get this to come up, I had to go buy the editing shortcut keyboard cover to go on my laptop, because to do all this video editing, I mean, I had no idea how to do it. So boom. But now I know. So when somebody else has their podcast and we do their video stuff, I'm going to be able to help them out.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, it's still probably going to be awful, but
Yeah,
we're learning.
It's fun. I mean, I don't know if how many people are ever gonna hear us talking about this stuff, but it's like fun to be able to at least try and get our stuff out there. As we talked about with Chris in an episode, eventually it's it's all about just like trying. You got to get out there, you got to do it, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, keep going, and people are gonna understand eventually. So. We're excited. I'm not sure how much else there is to go through, but it's been fun.
The one other thing I will say is I just want to give a couple shout outs to some people that are actually helping us on this journey.
Yeah.
So first off, my sister Gabi, Luke's cousin, she's been doing an awesome job with helping out with all of our social media.
Legend.
She's been Yep. So she's out in Wyoming right now at a really cool job, and she's pumping out social media content for us. I'm sure she's extremely annoyed with me because I'm always sending her clips and asking her to do things, but she's being amazing. And then also Cameron Forbes, a good high school buddy of mine, he's been helping out with all of the sound editing. Definitely, sound is something that's extremely important in all of this, and we are learning. And we're not very good at it. So Cameron's making us sound much better. So, just tying back into that network, right? We have a lot of people that, can help us out, and it's a shame not to use them. So, we appreciate everybody that's helping out. We appreciate everybody that's been reviewing, following us on social media, all those little things. They actually go a long way. And, I think that we're going to continue to be able to put together some good content and, fire it out there. So if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, hit us up. All of those social medias links will be below wherever this is displayed. We want to foster that community and that connection. And that's why we wanted to do this Inside the Venture thing, right? It's just a short little clip, but we just want to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah, no. And, I guess we'll keep seeing you on Wednesdays, but, otherwise keep it real, everybody.